Welcome to Lerada Talks channel where we talk all things manifestation, beauty, lifestyle, and spirituality. Today, I will be sharing with you my experiences of the challenges that I encountered while I was manifesting my SP in a long distance situation. Yes, I did get my SP. I managed to successfully get my SP. There was no way that was not going to happen because I was so focused. I was so committed to the journey. Remember, in the law of manifesting, you have to commit to the journey. You have to persist no matter how hard it is. But I must tell you guys, as much as in the previous video of on how I manifested my SP from a long distance, there were challenges that I faced, the highs and lows, the hot and cold moments, the times when I was reaching breaking points and I wanted to give up. Honestly, how this started, as I told you in that video, was that me and this person were in an on and off situation. We almost sort of had like a friends with benefits situation, and I didn't want that anymore. And he was having like baby mama drama and all of those kind of things. It was still very much linked to that woman, and it was just a mess. Okay, so that was the first challenge that I had to deal with. But we had been like liking each other, but also focused in our lives, and we only came together that other year, like 2021. These years went by so quickly. Nonetheless, we started to see each other more often. But now, like I said, he was about to leave. Now he's gone. And the one thing that I always struggled with my SP was that he did not really like to communicate with me that much. I always did the chasing. I was always the one, more attached to the situation more than he did. I was the one calling, I was the one texting, he was the one, and sometimes he wouldn't even respond to my text. He would just leave them on read and respond like weeks later. Guys, you can imagine what was going on. And I think also I had only just started with the law of attraction journey. Like I said, I started with the law of attraction first. So what was going through my mind as I was starting this thing, I was still in a very desperate state, okay, where I would do the whisper method. I remember with the whisper method, I think when it's manifesting with Arnez or something, she's very good, right, with these techniques and whatnot. They really get you to calm down, what I've noticed with the techniques. So it was now weeks, I think months now, not talking to this person, and he was not showing any form of interest or dedication to our situation. So I would do the whisper techniques before I went to bed, guys. I would write down his name on a piece of paper, put it in my pillowcase. That was one of the methods that I I learned, and I would force myself to imagine. But the underlying feeling that I had was that this guy doesn't like me. This guy has someone else better. Remember, I also had a very poor self-concept while manifesting my SP, but I got him anyway. Doesn't matter. I just did all sorts of stuff, guys. There were times where you don't see movement for a day, for 2 days, and some of these clickbaits on the videos are like, you're gonna get them 24 hours, and it really does happen for other people to get their SP in 24 hours, because there's no resistance. As I've mentioned in many of my videos, that there is no resistance to that which they're believing for. So with me, it was, I'd go and imagine and be in this state where I'm lying down and I'm trying very hard to imagine that he's right here, and I'm whispering things. And sometimes I used to get movements. I did, okay, like out of the blue, in the midst of a 3-week no contact situation, he'd like greet me and say, hi, you are missed, or he'd call, like, out of the blue, and disappear again, because I had that expectation. A part of my mind, I still gave into the old story of, oh, he appears and then he disappears again. So then obviously I had no resistance to the negative story that I had towards him. So most of the negative stuff would actually manifest in our journey. So then 3-4 months goes by. On his birthday, we actually share the month. We are July babies, and he's earlier than me. He's the 8th and I'm the 22nd. So I called him on his birthday. I'm like, there's nothing wrong. It doesn't feel like I'm chasing him. I just feel like I'm sending him a birthday message. And he was really happy. Like every time I call him, he's always very nice to me. Hi, babe. Very flirty with me. But I had no faith in him. I had trust issues. It was even trust issues that I had when it comes to men. I didn't believe in myself. So that also contributed to how I felt. So sometimes a technique would make me feel good, but then the reality of what I have to do it did not make me feel good. And then, or what I've always believed about myself or about men and relationships then would then manifest, because that was my dominant story. Remember, I did not know about assumption yet. It was still very much about the law, the techniques. I thought the techniques changed the person, and I can still go on with my negative mindset all the time. So that was a struggle. So, yo, guys, I went through times when I would like, even, I think I dropped uh having faith. I even dated someone as a result. I tried dating somebody else. That didn't work out because I was trying to distract myself. I didn't want this to be my only focus. I was starting to feel obsessed with this whole thing. So I started seeing other people, like, oh, I'm going to see somebody else. But my heart and my mind were on this, and it's not right. I didn't feel right about leading people on. And that's what it ended up feeling like. So I'm like, but I don't need to date. Okay, there's nothing wrong with dating, but like, let me focus on my life. Or I don't know, I felt like I could get some miracle. And that's when I bumped into like the law of assumption coaches. I think it was Sammy, it was Kim Velez, it was all the others, and many others started to pop up. And when I got into that, got to understand what the law of assumption is everything that it's affirming a lot, creating your own your desired outcome, through your thoughts, through the things that you script, through you saying them in your mind or you saying them out loud. It resonated more with my personality. So then I started scripting, and no, I didn't start scripting until very later on. I started affirming. It felt really good. And when I started affirming, it still didn't feel, the challenge was that I didn't know, I didn't see a difference, like, because I'm a Christian, and I think a part of that sort of made me feel like, affirming, no, let me pray and leave it to God to take care of everything. So I didn't want to take responsibility. It's always me praying and then leaving the responsibility onto someone else to make things happen for me, and I can continue with my negative story. No, law of assumption, you take accountability, much like your faith as well. So I started affirming, and a lot, and I started being obsessed with affirming for my SP, because that's all I wanted. And that was around June and July and August and stuff. And around August, I started seeing like hectic movements. I started affirming my SP is always with me. My SP visits me on weekends. He doesn't mind coming to see me. We were 4 hours apart. Remember, the cities were 4 hours apart. And then he started like to, bridge of incidents started to happen. Like there'd be circumstances that needed him to come here. I remember he had to come by a car, and that situation brought him to this city and right across my street, and that's where he had to buy the car. So now he came here for like 2 days or so, and while he was here, I started also affirming that he wants to spend he wants to move back here. He hates living there and all of that. And during his second visit to this place, he started telling me that I want to move. I want to move back here. I want to come. I'm like, And that came from affirming. And what was my thoughts? I still had moments where I felt like I was still insecure. I still had those negative thoughts. Because, guys, remember, when you are starting a new story, the old story is being sort of like bullied out of your system by the new story. You are forcing, you're impressing, the subconscious mind with something new. And I remember just like seeing results. I got so used to affirming. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't script up until the following last year. And then he started really putting in an application to come this side, and he told me, he actually started calling me. Things started getting better, guys, from September, October. No, then I think it's somewhere in October he disappeared again on me, because I did sort of assume it into being that he would disappear again. I don't know what happened. I was triggered by something, and he actually reflected that quickly. And then he emerged again when I was, and during that time when he was like, he had disappeared on me, all I ever did was affirm that we are always talking. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I did this with tears in my eyes. I would sit on the bed and I'd be like, why am I doing this, guys? Like, why? Like, why do I have to get somebody that I have to affirm for? But even the next person that I'd get, that's not my SP really. I'd still have to create circumstances that are favorable to me. So I'd still have to do this. This is the law by which I live by. And it's not just about an SP. It's about, if I'm doing it for my money, if I'm doing it for a job, if I'm doing it for anything else, might as well do it for an SP as well. So this is the way of life, you know? And so if I'm getting sick of this right now, then I'm not gonna really have the life. I'm only gonna have the opposite of this, and that's means life without my SP, or having my SP in a horrible state, and that's not what I wanted. And so during that time, I remember that October month was when he disappeared on me, and half of November he didn't say anything. We went again into no contact because I wavered. And when you waver, your mindset also gives you what is going on in your mind and what you're affirming to yourself. So I went into, like, that's when I really, really started dedicating. I ignored how I feel. I'm like, no matter how I feel, I'm going to do this. Soon enough, whatever I impress on my subconscious mind, soon enough, I'm going to get so used to it that I don't care about the results anymore. When you get to the state of not caring about the results anymore, then you know you are untouchable when it comes to this affirmation thing in the law of assumption, guys, which is where you want to get. You want to get to that point of not caring about the results of your affirmations, not looking for them and stuff like that. So that's where I got eventually. And that's when movement started to happen, a lot of movement. And I think the latter part of November and December, we were back full force up until now where we are at. So things started to break because I got into the state of not caring about results when they came, what the outcome is. I was so used to doing this. I'm like, I'm gonna have fun doing this. This is my way of life. Whether I see things or I don't see things, this is the way I'm going to do things. So I just yielded to the journey, and I still have my SP today. He committed. We're in a committed relationship. The baby mama drama faded away. It's just the two of us and his children. So now you see, it was all worth it, but there were highs and lows, and every time I got hot and cold, my SP reflected the hot and cold behavior that I had. Every time I yielded to, I focused on, oh, he's gonna disappear, the old story would immediately reflect. So I had to get to a point where I'm like, I don't care how I feel. I don't care what pops up in my mind. I'm gonna affirm this, and this is gonna be the outcome sooner or later. And lo and behold, I did get that. The results, guys. So if you have any questions about this journey, it does happen, you guys. One thing I want to tell you about this is that it does happen where during this journey you're gonna feel like some of you are going to experience no movement for a long time because maybe you spent a lot of time thinking negatively about love in general, money in general, whatever it is that you are manifesting. And so it takes longer for your brain, your subconscious mind to grasp it. And so it took long for me to think that I could have this man. That's why it took that long. That's why I had lots of highs and lows. But had I had this concept of myself that it's easy for me to get any man that I want, my SP is no exception to that. If I start getting into that belief, then it's going to be easy for me to just grasp, for my subconscious mind to just grasp that and be like, run with it. And it wasn't up until, like I said, when I stopped caring about the outcomes, the manifestation dropped in front of me, like boom, you know. And so ever since then, even life now together, being with my SP, I'm still manifesting the relationship that I want to have, and I'm seeing so much movement. And every single time I'm negative things start to pop up. And I'm not saying that it's slavery and bondage, but you really gotta watch what's in your mind, because your life is shaped by your thoughts. So if you want to experience good things in your life, you have to control your thoughts. If you want to get an SP, you gotta start believing that they are yours, and you gotta start writing down all the things that you want to experience with your person, and write them as if they were true. Whether you do it through gratitude, sometimes I switch up with the way that I do my affirmations. I'll be waking up and be like, oh, I'm so grateful that I'm living the life of my dreams with my SP. I'm so grateful that I'm the love of my SP's life. Like, I still do it even though I have my person. I'm so grateful that my SP still pursues me even though he has me. You know, I still affirm things that I want, because now that I have him, probably the next step I want is an engagement. So I'm going to start affirming for that. Then marriage, then kids. And you never stop, because your life never, as long as you're alive, there are things that you're gonna want for yourself. So I hope that you guys got something from this. Do not be hard on yourself. You are gonna have highs and lows. You are gonna have hot and cold moments, but do not let them prolong, because do not let them dominate, because whatever you dominantly think about is what manifests. Yeah, guys, I will, that's all I have for you for today. If you have any questions, comment there, tell me what you think, and I'll get back to you. I always try to respond as detailed as I can in the comment sections. And I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.